welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a recap of some new products that have recently been added to my collection and kind of giving you more of an official review of some things you've seen in first impressions, some things I've had for several months and I have been using them more frequently, and so I feel like at this point I can probably give you a really good review or opinion based on my experience with the products. I've done a few first impressions recently, and I think I kind of wanted to touch base with some of the products. I've had some questions about a setting powder that I'm going to show you, so I figured why not do this type of video. I think it would be kind of fun and maybe even helpful. Who knows? So we've got several items that are actually, most of it is drugstore products, which is great because you guys know I usually use high-end makeup. It's just because that's my preference. It's what I like. There's nothing wrong with the drugstore. Clearly, this video definitely can show you some options from the drugstore, and if you're not familiar with drugstore makeup, maybe you'll find something that kind of piques your curiosity and maybe you'll try it next time you see it when you're browsing the aisles of Walmart or the drugstore side of Ulta, Target. Most of these things can be found in stores. There's one high-end product that I'm looking at in my stash here, and then one that has to be ordered online, and that's an eyeshadow product. So if you're interested, then keep watching. Alright, so I'm going to start with the foundations because I have quite a few. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the No. 7 the Beautifully Matte, and this is one that I picked up from Target, and I will have the names and the shades that I use in the description box for you. This has an SPF of 15. It's hypoallergenic. It is a velvet matte finish. I do think it's very velvety on the skin. If you want something that's matte but that isn't flat and super chalky looking, this is a great option. I do have to use hydrating primers underneath this right now because my skin is more dry. I think it's just because I live in Colorado and it's very cold here, and also I think my pregnancy hormones have something to do with changes in my skin. So this actually works well with hydrating primers. I'm excited to try this after, like, postpartum and see if maybe my skin goes back to being a sort of combination with some areas that are dry, some that are oily, and seeing how this works. But I have enjoyed this. I use about a pump for a very light, even coverage. I don't like to wear a lot of heavy layers or heavy makeup. I don't want my face to feel like I'm wearing anything, which is why I like more of the lighter weight foundations, products that I can build up, not something that's full on. It's a full face, full coverage right off the bat. This one, I feel like it's a solid medium coverage. I feel like if I wanted more, I would add more. I like the pump. It's a plastic packaging that's kind of frosted, so that's the downside as far as trying to look at it and see if that's your right color match, because some Targets I've seen testers, others don't have any. So it can be hit or miss. Also, the shade range in this is not that great as far as the variety of colors that they provide. So that's another con for it, but I do like the packaging as far as being able to see as you use the product how much you actually have left. So this is a good one. Alright, so moving right along to another foundation. This one is also another drugstore one. It's the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation with SPF 20. Now, none of these, there's one foundation that is newly added to that brand's line of products. These two, the No. 7 and the Physicians Formula, have been out for quite some time. They're just new to me. So this one is an all skin types foundation that has a brightening complex. I think it looks really pretty if you set it out on your counter, in your bathroom, in your vanity, wherever you do your makeup. It looks really nice. It's got a nice heavy weighted glass feel to it, and the cap that's silver is plastic. It does have an SPF 20, and I also love the fact that this has skincare benefits in it. If I'm going to take the time to do my makeup and have it on my skin for hours on end, it would be nice to have some sort of benefit to it than just covering up imperfections and then just sitting on my skin. If I could have like my ideal formula, it would be something that provides coverage, that's buildable, that adds some sort of skincare benefit while I'm wearing it. So I feel like this one does that with the brightening complex that's in it, and there's no fragrance, it's gluten-free. It's a really good brand to try if you have sensitive skin. Now, I do love the coverage that this gives me. I have this mixed in with something else, and that's what I'm wearing today. I think that the shade range can be expanded as well. I wear the shade LN3, and I think that's a really good match for me personally. I have some issues with the packaging. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a trend now to see foundations and concealers from drugstores and high-end brands with this massive doe foot applicator. It's enormous, and I will show you. I don't really care for doe foot applicators for hygienic purposes. That's kind of like my standpoint, and that's kind of where I see it. Like, a makeup artist probably wouldn't have this in their kit, because how do you sanitize this without contaminating what's already in the bottle? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I guess the same thing could be said for concealer. What I do is I apply some swipes of the product on the back of my hand and then use my finger to dot it where I want it, blend it in with a beauty sponge, because if I have active breakouts, I don't want to contaminate my applicator and then my formula, because you're just spreading bacteria. Now, that's just my personal preference. Doesn't mean that it is a reason to not use it for me, because I'm still using it. This is where my issue is as well with the packaging. I will show you, I have not cleaned any of this, and I hope you can see, my camera's focusing, how messy this has gotten. This is what the neck of my bottle looks like, and again, like I said, I haven't cleaned it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. It is very messy. I'm not quite sure if it's the stopper, but it's wasting a lot of product. I've used quite a bit. I mean, I can see some little specks of where the product is moving down, because I have used this quite a bit since I did my first impressions on it. I do like the formula. The smell is a little off, but the good thing about the smell is that it doesn't linger for very long. Once you blend it in, I don't even smell it anymore. So the whole messy sort of look to it is a downfall for me, and the applicator, but the formula itself I think is really nice. All right, so this next foundation kind of took me by surprise. I used to use, years back, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. It comes in a squeeze tube. They still sell it. It's a really good option for those who are quite oily. I feel like it's a very matte formula, but they recently added to the Infallible line of the Fresh Wear foundation. It's the one that's 24 hours. Looks like this. This is of no surprise to you guys. I'm sure you've seen this. 24-hour breathable texture, and it has an SPF of 25. So it's more SPF in this than Physicians Formula. So these are the two that I'm mixing today. LN3 in Physicians Formula and 420 True Beige in the Fresh Wear. Now, this consistency is very liquidy, and as you can probably see here, my cap is quite dirty because every time I pump it, it does drip down. Not a big deal. I like the pump. I'd rather have this packaging than the doe foot that's in this. I think it's a great formula. Like I said, it's what I'm wearing today mixed in with Physicians Formula. I feel like on its own, I can get a really good medium. It's a buildable formula. I feel like it is very lightweight and very thin. Quite different, in my opinion, than the Pro Matte that's a little bit thicker. If my memory serves me right, it was a little bit more, not only just on the thicker side, but also a little bit kind of moussey, like a demi-matte kind of finish. This one I feel like looks more like skin-like, which I can appreciate because it's not flat and it's not dewy. It's a good right in the middle kind of foundation, and it's affordable. And I do like it. I feel like it does provide really nice coverage, and I use a beauty sponge that has been slightly dampened to apply my makeup, but when I use a more dense brush, I can get more coverage out of these two, and of course the third foundation that I talked about today. I can get more fuller coverage with these if I build it up using a brush or maybe even my fingers, but a beauty sponge will kind of shear this out, make it look just pretty on the skin, and that's why I like beauty sponges, because you don't run that chance of having that cakey look with a beauty sponge. In my opinion, I think it's a really great tool to have in your makeup collection for applying foundation. So I'm like really shocked that I have 3 really good foundations from the drugstore. Do I need all 3? Of course not. And they vary in price range. I think the most expensive one is the No.7. I think it's $16 or $17. But you know what? Drugstore prices are climbing up there. So these are quite affordable, readily available. I think you can get all of these at Target, which is probably the easiest place to find them. Maybe even Walgreens. I think Walgreens has No.7. But again, colors will be down below in the description box. Okay, so we have to take a moment to talk about the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. I was blown away by the fact that, one, I'm trying something new because I only use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It's my go-to. Been using it for 2 years straight. Love it. It gives me everything I look for in a mascara. It makes my lashes look incredible, and I love it, and it never causes any issues. So I thought, let me try this. Like, how good can this really be? Because the brush is very similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, has that hourglass shape to it, and I'll show you an up-close shot here. And that's the applicator. I like the fact that when I take this out of the tube, it is very clean. There's no clumps. It's not gooped up. It's a very even coating on the actual wand, and it coats the lashes quite nicely. And guess what? I've been using it every single day. My old tube of Lash Paradise needs to be disposed of because it's, or put into my empties. But this is what I've been using every single day, and it gives me a really good fanned out effect to my lashes. No flaking, no clumping. It makes my lashes look really good. So I feel like this and the L'Oreal Lash Paradise are like my top 2 drugstore mascaras. I was surprised. I was very skeptical, and I was like, I know I'm not gonna like this. There's just no way that I can like something else, right? But this is actually very good, and I want to say it was like $6 or $7 at Walmart. But you can get this pretty much anywhere the CoverGirl is sold, and I like everything about it, and I wear the very black shade. So if you're looking for a drugstore option, this is a good one. All right, so I have another No.7 product, and this is the Translucent Perfect Light Loose Setting Powder that's also hyperallergenic. I got this around the same time that I bought the foundation, and I wanted to try something that was more, I guess, luminous, because I noticed that my skin was getting drier, and I felt like more mattifying or matte setting powders or pressed powders just weren't going to do me any favors with having more dry skin, because my skin is not producing any oils. So I have to use a lot more oil in my skincare, which I'll get to in a minute. So this one is the Perfect Light. It's supposed to be a light diffusing powder. I really don't see light diffusing properties of it. I feel like it's just like your typical translucent setting powder. It's not shimmery. There's no glow. There's no dew to it. I wish there was a bit of a sheen to it. But even though there isn't any light diffusing that I can tell, because it says light diffusing powder blends evenly onto skin. Even though there's no dew to this or sort of light diffusing properties that I can pick up, I do like the way it looks. I use this to set my under eye so that I don't have any creasing with my concealer. I don't really use this a whole lot to set my face, because I feel like with those foundations, I don't have to set any of them. And I do like the fact that this has vitamin E, provitamin B5, and hyaluronic acid. So again, another line that infuses skincare into their products, which I think to me is a bonus. And it's relatively affordable. I mean, if I went to Sephora and got a, what size is this? 20-gram size container of translucent powder, I probably would be walking out the door $30+, and this was maybe $12, $15 at the most. So I do feel like it's a really good option from the drugstore. It's a very basic setting powder. It's colorless as well. I think I mentioned it's translucent. And I want to say they have a pressed powder version of this, but I like the loose. I also like the packaging. I think it's really nice. I mean, it's quite dirty because you can see my fingerprints, but I do feel like it's a good option, and it works really great to set my under eye. It makes my under eye area feel really soft and very silky. And I've had some questions about this in the comments to one of the videos that I posted a couple months back, maybe at the beginning of the year, about this, and I'm really enjoying it. I really do think that I have a really good setting powder from the drugstore. Alright, so we're coming down to the last 2 makeup products that I have been using that are new to my collection. The first one is the Dr. Brandt's Pores No More Luminizing Primer. Now, I've had this for months, and I started using it at the beginning of the year. I never purchase luminizing primers that have a sheen or shimmer to it because, again, my skin was more combination, kind of oily in the T-zone. But now that my skin is on the drier side, I use dewy, hydrating primers. I use lots of highlighter. I'm just enjoying the fact that my skin is more kind of dry and not as oily, so I'm able to get away with using something like this everywhere, all over my face. It gives a really subtle kind of sheen to the skin where it makes your skin look healthy and vibrant looking. It's not anywhere near the Becca Skin Perfectors. If you've tried those in liquid form, those are very, very like shimmery, pearlescent. This is more subdued, more light. You can wear this with nothing else and have that nice, healthy vitality look to your skin, which is what I like about it. And actually my sister got me onto this because she's been using it, and she likes everything to be matte. She doesn't like any sort of shimmer on her skin. So when she said the luminizing primer, I was like, are you sure it's luminizing? Because I don't think that that would be something you like, but she loves it. It's also a non-comedogenic formula. This is the high-end product that I was talking about in my little stash of updates. This has to be purchased through Sephora and on the Dr. Brandt's website. It's not a drugstore product. It is a little bit up there in price, but you do get 1 ounce. So I feel like this will last me quite some time. And it says you can use it alone for a natural bounce of light on the skin or under makeup to prep skin for a flawless application AM and PM. So you can use it on its own. I'm wearing it under my foundation today, and it's really great. No issues with it causing breakouts or anything on my skin. So a really good option if you're looking for something that's adds a dew to the skin, but it's not overly shimmery, where you don't look like you just put a bunch of like disco ball glitter on your face. Like, this is really, really pretty. So the next product is the Channon Rose 4-color eyeshadow palette. I've had this for a few months, and I did a video on this, and she is a fellow YouTuber who's also a mom, and she recently had a daughter, which it's so fun and so cute to see their vlogs and their family videos and things, and I've talked about her, and I really enjoy her videos, and I wanted to support her, so I decided to order this. And it's in collaboration with the IGXO beauty brand, and it has 4 eyeshadows in it, and it came in a bundle of this with a liquid lipstick, which I do have. It's in my purse. It's good. It's a nice peach color. It's called Cake. So if you're interested, I will have the links down below. They're not affiliates, so if you purchase from it, I don't get any money from those links. But I do like the colors, and I do find myself reaching for these because these are colors that I can use on a daily basis and not really have to think about what I'm doing with my eyeshadows, whether it matches my lip color, my outfit of the day. It just is a color scheme that goes with pretty much everything. You have a light cream color, a peach, 2 tones of brown, one that's light, one that's a little bit darker. You can use them for blush, contour. You can use this light one if it matches your skin tone to set your under eye area. I mean, there's so much that you can do with these because they're all a matte formula, but without being chalky and like hard to work with. They blend very well. And this is the first time I've tried anything from the IGXO beauty brand, and I am interested to try more. So the website is igxocosmetics.com. It's printed on the back. But this is, again, a collaboration with Channon Rose. So if you want to get this one, you can buy the palette on its own or get it as a bundle with the liquid lipstick. And I do like the quality, the pigmentation. And I did a look on this, and if I can backtrack my videos, I will have it pop up at the top of the screen for you to go watch if you're interested in that. But I do like this, and the packaging is quite nice as well. So I've got some skincare products. I have kept my skincare routine pretty basic through my pregnancy. Just simple hydrating cleanser, moisturizer, and oil. That's it. No treatments, no anti-aging serums. Most of those things you can't use anyways with pregnancy, but there are 2 things that I have recently added to my routine, and one of them is actually a cheaper alternative to my beloved Marula oil from Drunk Elephant that I've talked about endlessly on my channel. I decided to find something that's a little bit more affordable because, as I've said before, that oil, 1 ounce, is $72, which I think is very overpriced. But it's an oil that works really great with my skin, whether it's dry, whether I have breakouts. It sinks into the skin, it plumps the skin without making the skin look greasy and feel disgusting. So I was looking online for a Marula oil, and I found this one from the brand Acure, the Essentials Marula Oil. And it's actually quite affordable. I got this off of Vitacost.com. You can get it online at the Acure website. You may be even able to find this in Whole Foods because I've seen the brand there as well. And it ranges between $13 to $16 depending on where you shop. And I do think that it's very comparable to that one. I do love the price point. It's a fraction of the cost of what I was paying before at Sephora. And I think it works just as great. And I've been using this for a few months, and I have not had any issues with breakouts. So I feel like I've got myself a winner here. And I think I'm going to continue to repurchase this one. The Acure brand is actually a very clean brand as well with their formulas and ingredients. So I am really excited that I found this, and I'm super pumped to share with you guys because some of you have mentioned in comments in previous videos that you'd like to try the oil and try more from Drunk Elephant. So if you don't want to pay the price point, definitely grab you one of these bottles. Now I will say that the pump, it's hard to control how much you're using, because once you dispense it, whatever comes out is what you have to use. Whereas if it were in a dropper form, you can control and use 1 drop, 2 drops, and know exactly how much you're using morning and night. I use 1 pump in the morning and sometimes 2 pumps at night. I think that would be equivalent to probably 4 drops or so. So that's the downside with this type of packaging with just the pump. I wish that they would repackage, keep the packaging the same color, but maybe switch out the pump for a dropper. I think that that would help kind of extend how long it lasts and also how much you're using. So that's just something that I look into. When for oils, I do like the dropper, but it's not bad. I've gotten used to it, so a great alternative there. Let me say hi, YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. All right, so my last skincare item and my last product that I'm going to talk about in today's video is the Alba Botanica, the Hawaiian 3-in-1 Cleansing Towelettes. This is the Deep Pore Purifying, the Papaya and Enzyme. Looks like that. Comes in a pack of 30. And I wanted to get something that I could use in the mornings so that I didn't have to wash my face twice a day. And I think it's just because, like I said, I've noticed some changes in my skin, and when your skin is on the drier side, you could technically skip the morning cleanse if you have like a towelette type of thing like this, that you could just take off the products from the night before and then go into your morning routine and then follow up with makeup. And I wanted something like that I could use when I get out the shower in the morning without having to cleanse my skin too many times. Being that it is dry, I do cleanse at night and I still use my Clarisonic a couple times a week, but this is actually really good. When I get out the shower, it's very refreshing to take whatever products I had on from the night before off. I've also used these to remove my makeup at night, and they work really well. It's 3-in-1. It's a makeup remover, cleanser, and toner. And I like this brand because it is hypoallergenic and they don't have any alcohols. Now, a lot of face wipes that are pore purifying or acne fighting, they will have alcohol in them, some sort of alcohol. And that's actually very drying to the skin, and it can actually have the reverse effect. So I like the fact that there's no alcohols in here. It's also a vegetarian formula. No animal testing, artificial colors, or synthetic fragrances. No parabens, no phthalates. So I think it's a pretty clean line. I'm pretty sure you can get this brand at Target and Whole Foods as well. But I ordered those off of Vitacost around the same time that I ordered the Acure Marula oil. So I'll put the Vitacost website down below so that you can look at their skincare. They have sales all the time. I get emails with coupon codes and all that good stuff all the time for sales. So definitely check it out if you haven't heard of them. And that is it. I know this video was quite long, but I did want to cover some of these new products and kind of give you more of a thorough review on each of these things versus a first impressions, because sometimes your first impression can change. You can like something right off the bat and then over the course of some time end up disliking it or end up loving it even more. Or you start off kind of on the fence, and then you realize after using it and trying it out, testing it with different products underneath, like primers, if you're talking about foundations, and you realize that, yeah, it may not have worked the first time, but then after a while, you kind of figure out how to make it work, and then you end up liking it. So I did want to do this update on all these products because you've seen these in recent videos, and you've seen my first impressions, my vlogs, and things like that. So definitely wanted to share that with you. I hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell for more videos. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, social media. It's on the screen, and I will see you there. Take care.